Hello, hello everybody. It is Jackie from Pocket of Preschool, and I'm so excited you guys are here with me tonight as I fix my necklace. So today or tonight, I guess depending on when you are watching, we are going to talk all about activities and ideas that you can use in the classroom for a pizza theme. So in the comments, I want you to tell me, have you done a pizza theme in your classroom? Is it one you want to try? And if you have done it, when do you do it? Like, what else do you like pair it up with? Sometimes I've done a pizza theme in November around Thanksgiving, because you know Thanksgiving is like all about food. So tell me all the things in the comments. And then for the links for all the things, there is a link to my store that has all the printables that I'm going to show you, all the printable games and the dramatic play units in there. And then there's also a link to the blog where I have a ton of activities, like all the sensory, fine motor, math, everything, literacy, all the things. There's also a book list on there. There's a post all about how to set up a pizza restaurant in your dramatic play center. So go check all that out if you need any of the links to the things. So without further ado, we are going to jump in and get started. So like I said, we are going to do a pizza theme. So the first thing you're going to want to do is try and get some boxes donated to you. Obviously this one's from Pizza Hut, but ask for one that's like, you know, clean. Because we're going to use this to make the activities more engaging. And then this is actually like a little tablecloth, and you can cut it up into smaller pieces. But this is like at the Dollar Tree during like, barbecue and stuff, but it looks kind of pizza-ish, right? So, and then also grab some spatulas. It doesn't have to be red. I just grabbed that one. And then also pizza cutters, because I'm going to show you how to use this to make the activities more engaging. Math, literacy, everything. This to the side for just a minute because I want to give you an idea for the blocks center or your STEM center first. So I made this a bazillion years ago and I still have used it. I just say our STEM challenge is to build a pizza restaurant. If you have a my community STEM I Can Build pack, there is a building, a pizza restaurant building, if you want to put that out as well. This I just like made in Word, like again, forever ago. And then also what you're going to do, or what you can do, is take all the pizza restaurants where you live. Like we have a Domino's, we have a Dewey's, Pizza Hut, Papa John's, and just put the logos or the signs on some blocks. I just literally just taped them on there, and then you can like pull them off after the unit's done, and then put them in your bag or your like box, and then you can use them again. So that way students can build a pizza restaurant in the STEM or the block center. And then how I make this one work is all I do is, so I kind of like DIY laminate it. So I cut out all the logos, and then since this one didn't fit, I just put a piece of tape on the front of it and on the back of it. I wonder if I could peel it off, hold on. So I literally take this tape and I go on the front and on the back, like kind of like DIY lamination with tape. And then so that way the edges are covered in tape. And then I just take this and put it on there. So that way, the edges won't get super messed up when the kids are building with it. And again, use the pizza restaurants that are in your area. So if you have some local ones to you or some family-owned pizza restaurants, for sure, use those. Because again, we're using logos which have letters in them, which is tons of environmental print. They're going to be talking about the letters, noticing the letters. Again, we just want to like immerse kiddos with letters and words just all day, every day. So in the Black Center or your STEM center, have them build a restaurant, pizza restaurant. So there's that one. Or you could do Chuck E. Cheese too, right? All right, so books. Some of the books that I love for pizza are, my favorite one is The Little Red Hen Makes Pizza. It's, Little Red Hen, except this time instead of making bread, she makes pizza. Love this one. I also love Pizza Pig. Pizza at Sally's is another great one. Hi, Pizza Man. This one's a newer one, but Pete the Cat, and The Perfect Pizza Party. And then also, you can also tie in books about vegetables and kind of where, you know, food comes from, or like farm. Or you can do like books about pasta or salad, like on top of spaghetti. This is like a song book. And again, I have links to all of these books over on my blog. So it says pizza book list. That's what you're gonna find. So grab all your books for circle time, so we can be super engaging books for circle time, and we can have a ton of fun. And then in the Dramatic Play Center, now I don't have it set up right now. I'm not teaching this year, but I want to show you what it looked like one year. So I used my grocery stand, and I covered the awning with some red paper, and that was like my checkout. And then I had this was the chef's table, and then I had the customer table, and then all of this back here, the white shelf had stuff on it for the chefs to make the pizza. And this was our like order board with our visual recipe. All of this is in my Pizza Dramatic Play unit, and I have a whole blog post on it too. But this board back here is great because you can put all the orders on it, and it's literally just a white magnetic board, like leaned up against it. And if you need to, like, you know, use a, a 3M hook to anchor it to the wall, you can do that too. And again, this is just all in my pizza unit. It also shows my, my other classroom. Again, you can set it up however you want, but there's tons of photographs in the unit. There's also a note home to families to tell them how they are learning through play and pretend. And I want to show you how easy it is to set up. So each of my Dramatic Play, I have a box for each one, and I put all the stuff inside. Like I had some Papa John's pizza. Oh, there's some cheese. It's not real cheese, don't worry. We had some cans because we had pizza sauce. I have a jar of oregano. These are breadsticks that kids made one year with Model Magic. How fun are those? They just rolled them, and then we let it dry, and then paint and cover and glitter because they need, you know, garlicky butter. And then, and again, ask your community to see if they'll donate things to you. We have cups, small and large. And they, again, when it's donated, it has tons of environmental print on it. I made my own seasonings. This is just like, you know, the cheese container. So eat a lot of cheese or save them, or ask your family to donate them for you. This is just like those paper shreds, and I only had yellow, so I literally cut up my own red ones. And this isn't like grossness. At the bottom, I hot glued some red pepper flakes to the bottom. That way, if when they opened it, it would smell that way. And then I put a little bit of cheese at the bottom in the glue. And then this one, I put oregano in the glue. It doesn't, all you kind of do is you just kind of like shake it up. It's kind of like scratch and stuff. But it used to smell. I bet it smelled for probably about 2 years, and it doesn't anymore because I've had these for like, I don't know, 10 years I made them ago. But yeah, they're great. And because look, it doesn't fall out. But they can still pretend to put oregano or cheese or red pepper flakes on their pizzas and pretend as they're pretending to eat. And then butter. I have all the labels for my shelf. I have some real menus from Domino's that I just laminated. And then I have all of our signs. We have a specials board, which is literally I just put this on a whiteboard so the students can write the specials on there. We have employees only section or sign. And then I have kind of all of it just in here. We have an open and close sign that the students wrote on. We have a pizza delivery truck, which I take my shopping cart and turn it into a pizza delivery truck. And then we have environmental print. So we have some super simple menus. And then, what else? Oh, I have my bunting banner. It says pizza restaurant. And then I have a ton of order forms. Now, if you don't want to use paper, put this in a dry erase packet. But look at that. A little friend like wrote her order on there and asked the customer all the things and what she wanted, which is great oral language. And then also in there, I have my visual recipe. Now, you can make this as complicated or as easy as you want. Obviously, mine has a lot of steps because I had 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. 3-year-olds didn't do all of them, but they could follow some of them. And as they got older, or the older kiddos in my classroom could follow almost all of the steps to make their pizza. So you can just hang that on the wall. And then for the topping, so for pizza dramatic plate, you can do a couple different things. You can do like Play-Doh. And then I had the students help me make all the toppings. So they cut up some string for the cheese. And even when we do use Play-Doh, I still do this. We use all these kind of toppings. So we have pepperonis that the kids cut. We made onions with, what is it? What are those, pipe cleaners? We had peppers, the green peppers that we made with pipe cleaners, some mushrooms. Salad, this is literally, look, they drew on it. You see all the lines? And they drew, I told them to draw crazy lines and a whole bunch of straight lines, and then they cut it up so that way they could put salad in their bowl. Because again, the students in your class, and they don't need all the fancy Melissa and Doug, all the store-bought props. Now, if you have those, that's awesome, but they love this just as much. They can use the tweezers, just put it in a bowl. They can put the salad in a little bowl. It's great, fine motor. They get to use their imagination. And then we have olives, and then we have some tomatoes. They're printables. I guess I had like all the colored baggies for this one, huh? When I was cleaning up. And then, okay, hold on. Let me put some of this away a little bit real quick. Hold on. So I can show you the pizza. Because I love to sneak in as much learning as I can. So instead of just having like a circle pizza, what I did was, and I'll clean this up later. Let me put all this back in. What I did was, and now you could do like a large and small, but I did triangle. So that way they had to put it, and it fit on my pizza pan. I cut it to size. They had to do what? They had to make a pizza with it. So they had to kind of put a puzzle together, which is a great way to practice spatial reasoning and exploring shapes, because they, it doesn't fit this way, so they have to turn it. Super simple. If you have kiddos where this would be too much, you can do half. So you could do half of the pizza slice, half. You could do half and half, and then they put the red sauce half and the red sauce half on. Or you could do like a large crust with a large sauce, or you could, do different sizes too. But I really, this was like my favorite way to do it, was with the kind of pieces. That way they could also, once they like put the toppings on or whatever, here, we'll make a little pizza. They put the toppings on there, and then they put it in the oven, which was a box I covered in foil. And then the customer could then eat a slice, or they could be like, I just want 1 slice, or I want 2 slices, and now we are counting. So it's really, really fun. And again, I have a whole blog post on it on the blog, so you can see it all put together. But if you just dumped all of it on the ground, that's fine. But yeah, so much fun. And you can also get like bigger pizza boxes donated to you, so they could put those in there. And then the delivery truck, which again is our shopping carts, they can take this and go deliver it to the other center, wherever the kiddo is that ordered the pizza from the pizza restaurant. So again, lots and lots of communication, oral language, all of it. And it also too, when you have some kind of like delivery truck, it also engages the kiddos who are reluctant and don't really like pretend play. It gets them in a little bit of pretend play, right? Because they have to they have to tell them their order, and then they have to get the delivery, and then they can pretend to eat it, and then they take it back when they're done. So your kiddos who are not big pretend play kids, that is a great way to kind of get them involved in pretend play, because they get to order a pizza and then they get to go and give it back without having to be stuck in pretend the whole time. Because we know some kids, that's not their jam, and that's okay. So, all right. So we're gonna keep going. So let's talk about some, let's do sensory first, actually. So I would typically do this in my sensory bin, but I can't bring that to you on video. So what this is flour, I'm gonna get this on my hands and I'll be stuck with flour on my hands for the whole thing. But it's just regular flour. If you have a kiddo with asthma, probably with like severe asthma, don't use flour. You could also do kinetic sand if this is like too much, because it is a little bit messy, but it's so much fun. And then what you can do is take real oregano, I got mine from the Dollar Tree, and put it in the flour. And then it smells like pizza. But then they can make their pizza, and I just have some measuring spoons, and I only usually put 3 in, just so I don't get it too crowded with stuff. And then I have 3 measuring cups. And then I have some tools. So we have like a knife, we have some cutters, I have a whisk and a spoon. So all kinds of different little tools. And these are actually pie pans. They're not really pizza pans, but we're going to pretend they are for our sensory play. So it's just a really fun sensory bin, something different and easy. And again, if you have a kiddo with asthma, you can always do kinetic sand, because it's like kinetic sand is kind of like a pizza color dough. So that would be fun too. So that is the sensory bin idea for you guys. And again, if you forget any of this, all of this is on the blog at pocketofpreschool.com. Search pizza and you'll find all of it. So another sensory thing you could do is make a Play-Doh tray. And I made this like pizza Play-Doh. So it's basically just regular Play-Doh. I put a couple drops of brown liquid watercolor in there, so it's a little bit darker than like the typical dough. And then all I did was, again, I just put some oregano in it so it would smell like pizza. And it does flake off a little bit, but not too bad. And then I have these foam circles so they can put the dough on there, and then they can put all of the little toppings and things on there. So we have mushrooms and some pepperoni. I have pipe cleaner cheese and pipe cleaner peppers, and I have little pom-poms for sausage. So yeah, so it's really, really fun. Or you can totally leave this out, and you can put it out like a bit like pizza pans, but I didn't have enough pizza pans, so I just put this out for our pizza pans. Or you can make these like black too, so that way it looks like a pizza pan. So yes, they can make their own little pizzas and do all kinds of fine motor. And I have a little rolling pin. You can use a regular size too. And then if you have any like fun pizza cutters, these would be the perfect time to put those out. But it's a really fun it's a really fun and engaging Play-Doh tray for your pizza theme. Okay. All right, so let's switch over to, we're gonna do in fine motor, right? Because Play-Doh was a lot of fine motor. So another fine motor activity you can do. Now this is not art, this is a craft. But you gotta have a little bit of both, right? So this would be a fine motor craft or a cutting skills activity. And again, you can have this out under any, like the little mat out under any activity, just to make it a little bit more engaging. And then they can cut out the pizza crust and the sauce, and then they glue it together. Now, if this is too hard, you can cut these 2 pieces out, and then the students can cut these out. And again, it depends on how old your kiddos are. Maybe your students are just going to cut out the pepperoni, the sausage, and the cheese, and maybe you're going to put out like some cut up green pipe cleaners, because this pepper would be too hard for your students to cut. So you can make this as easy, all of the pizza toppings as easy or as hard as you want. Like trickier to cut out is what I mean. And this is what it would look like at the end. And again, have the scissors out. And then also don't forget to have the bounce back scissors out, because these bounce back open. So for a kiddo who has weaker fine motor, or scissors they struggle with scissors, or they're hard or frustrating, these are great for them because it bounces back open. Also, if they don't have a lot of fine motor strength, they can start with these regular scissors, and then when their hand gets tired, they can switch to these. That way they can continue the activity even though their hand is tired. So that's another fun, not art, again, that's a craft. I have some art ideas, some open-ended art I'll show you in a minute. And then let me talk about the writing center. So this one's really fun. And again, I would have this at a table, and instead of, obviously not in this little, all in this little tray, but in the pocket chart, which is at my writing center, I would put all of the pizza words there. Now I have uppercase, so you can put all of the uppercase pizza words, vocabulary words, or it also comes with lowercase. So if you have 3-year-olds, I would probably put out the uppercase, because uppercase letters are easier to write. So they'll be able to do this independently or attempt, right? And then we also have the lowercase cards, or you can put one in the pocket chart and the other one in like a bucket or on the table. Totally up to you, whatever you want to do. And then I have some half sheets of our just little pizza paper. And then it's also, if you want, you can also put out some dot markers because, you know, a lot of pizzas are round, and you can put out like a red, like a yellow and a green dot marker at your writing center. And then one of my favorite things at the writing center is the recipe. And I know you're thinking like, my preschoolers can't, or my 3-year-olds can't write a recipe. And they're actually, no, they probably can't. But we're gonna make a recipe preschool style. So they get a piece of paper, and there is some with lines on it. And then we have this big giant list of pizza toppings. So if you teach kinder or pre-K, they can actually copy the words and write on there, right? Now, if they're like, that's too hard, I have a whole bunch of these little cutouts. And all you do is you print them and then cut them out. And it's all the different things that students would put in a recipe. So they could have to measure, and then maybe they're gonna cut, and then maybe they're gonna put some mushrooms. And they need dough and pepperoni. Maybe they're gonna like measure the flour. And depending on how old the kiddos are, some of this is just gonna be like a hodgepodge all over the place, because they're gonna know that you need things for recipe, but there's not gonna be an order yet. And that's okay. Just let it be a hodgepodge all over there, all over the recipe, and they can write their name at the bottom because they're the chef that made up the recipe, and then color it or not, up to you. And then if you have pre-K kiddos, they may like put it in order, right? They may be like, okay, we're going to measure the flour. And there's other options in here too, but we're just gonna go with this for right now. And then we're gonna have onions and mushrooms and pepperoni, right? And there is one that in here that's oven. There's like salt or seasonings, whatever you want it to be. There's bowl. There's a whole bunch of different ones in here. Tomato. And maybe they're gonna write the first word or the first letter of each one. They may get it right, or they may not. They may attempt to sound spell right. Or they could put this in order and then find it on here and then trace it or copy it, sorry. So whatever level they're at is great, because all kiddos are writers, no matter if it's scribbles. Because again, if you have 3-year-olds, it's going to be this with scribbles, because that's how 3-year-olds write. And if they don't scribble, they'll never write random letters. If they never write random letters, they'll never start to sound spell right. So we got to get all the steps, and they are all just important. You can also, there's a cover, and you can put all the recipes the kiddos made in the Dramatic Play Center, and it's really, really fun. And then also you can put in the Writing Center these letter formation cards. This has nothing to do with the letter, and there's only 3 different things on the side, because I know that people think there's a whole bunch of different ones. No, it's like there's literally only 3 things, because again, it has nothing to do with the letter. There's no sound correlation here. We're just working on letter formation. So you could use a dry erase marker. They could use Play-Doh. You could also put out pom-poms, and they could build a letter, whatever you want to do. And also, how do your students like to build letters this year? Do they really love dry erase? Do they really love Play-Doh? Do you want to put both out? Totally up to you on what you want to do and how you want to do it. And again, this year, you may want to do Play-Doh. And next year, you're like, wow, my kiddos really love building with mini erasers. And maybe you have some pizza mini erasers, so maybe they're going to build a letter that way. As long as they're engaged and having fun, that's all that matters. Right? We are going to use what they love to our advantage and help keep everything engaging and exciting in our classrooms. Okay, so another way you can use the word cards is, and again, you can use the uppercase or the lowercase. And again, there's a whole bunch. Rolling pin, it's a really long one. They're gonna make it with the letters. Oh my gosh. There are some in here, sorry, that are just like the top. There we go. I was looking for the toppings. There we go. So slice and tomato and things like that. But at the Dollar Tree, they have these great pizza pans. And I actually one year bought a set of these pizza pans because they were out of cookie sheets. So I have a whole bunch, and again, buy them once and they'll last forever, but they can put out some magnet letters, and look, they stick because it's magnetic and it's a pizza pan. So you can put out your pizza words and they can make their pizza words on the pizza pan, or they can make their names on the pizza pan. You could do sight words on the pizza pan, whatever works. Or you can also get rid of the word cards and they can just do sorts on the pizza pan. So this one is uppercase and lowercase. You could also do colors. And when we do colors, usually the kiddos usually work together. So like, one person has all the blue letters and then another, so like this person would have all the blue and the red letters, and the person, next to them has 2 other colors, and then another person has 2 other colors, so they can sort the letters by color. Because again, we want to immerse our kiddos in letters, and we want to do all kinds of activities with letters all day, every day. Obviously, we're going to do other things too, but this would be a really fun activity to do just to get them noticing and exploring letters. So we can sort lowercase, uppercase, lowercase. They can do colors. They can also do in my name or not in my name. If you do that, I would have like the name cards out, and then that way they could be like, yes, it's in my name, or no, it's not in my name. Or they could do like in my friend's name, not in my friend's name. So any way you want to sort letters, you can do them on the pizza pan. Or if you have letters and numbers, they could do letters on one side, numbers on the other side. So one thing I have learned after teaching for forever is once you make something, keep it and don't throw it away no matter what. So I made these like when I first started teaching, and I literally, I painted, I don't know if I painted them or my students painted them. Kind of looks like students did it. But they painted pizzas, and then I laminated them because we use them for a ton of activities. So one thing you can do, since it's laminated, is that you can write on them. So like they could pick a magnet letter and they could write on it because it erases. Obviously, you probably would want to have an eraser, but I'm just trying to show you guys. Or again, you could take your pizza words and they could write the pizza words on the pizzas. I originally got these I made these to use for a math game, but there's so many things you can use with these. Like originally I got these to do like a roll and count, which I'll show you in a minute. But if you make stuff for your classroom, even if you don't use it 1 year, you may use it in 2 years or in 3 years, because teachers keep all the things, and we do maybe sometimes keep too many things, so don't keep too many things. But if you make, like I made a class set of these and we use these so much, you could also put shaving cream on these. You could also put shaving cream just on the pizza pan too, and they can write on the pizza pan. Put a little bit of oregano in the shaving cream, and they can write in the shaving cream or the pizza in the dough. So really, really fun. But yeah, again, I made those like forever ago, and again, to keep them for forever. Oh, also, because I had them here, I set them down. Don't forget to put if you have any menus, like these are laminated, obviously, right? But they can write on them. They can notice letters. They can, you can just have them in your pretend. You can also put these in the writing center. But these are also really fun to do like a shape hunt or because pizzas are great with shapes. There's all the squares. They can trace the circles. They can also find different letters in their name if they want. But don't forget to put pizza menus in your writing center. Okay. All right, so we did that. All right, so here is a printable that I have. It's really fun. And also these pizza centers were updated, I want to say the beginning of 2024. So if you're like, I don't have this game, this is a new one that we added in the beginning of 2024. So go download it again and it will be there. So this one, you can play this a couple different ways. So they're gonna pick a letter and you can do this, again, whatever way works for your kids. for your students in your classroom. So they could pick a uppercase letter and then, oops, hold on. They could pick, so you get uppercase and you get lowercase pizzas. So they could pick an uppercase letter and then they can write it. Or you could pick an uppercase letter and then they can make it with Play-Doh, make it with manipulatives. As long as they read it and write it, whatever works. You could also have them find the uppercase and the lowercase that match, and then they can write it. Again, this is just in the dry erase packet. Or you can have them just do lowercase and just write the lowercase down. Or if you are working on sight words or CBC words, they can, and these are in there, but there's also blank word cards as well. So you could build whatever words you're working on. So they pick a sight word and then they write it in there, or they can pick it and then we're just gonna pretend this says to. T-O, I know it doesn't, but they could build the word with their pizza in the pizza restaurant and then they can write it. Because again, we wanna make it hands-on and engaging and fun. And you're gonna do that no matter what. And again, again, this little thing, I know you think it's crazy, but doesn't this look more engaging under this little thing? And also, this is where the little pizza boxes come in. We're gonna flip it back over here this way. So you could have one box with the lowercase and one box with the uppercase. They could pick one and then they could write it. You can also have them use the spatula to get it out. And then they could write it or build it, whatever you want to do. But again, just by putting it in this box with the spatula, that's so much more engaging, right? And with little cloth down, super, super fun, super simple. I love simple, easy ways that I can make an activity more hands-on and more engaging. So yeah, just use pizza boxes. So here's another one. These, and I have these already done because you guys don't want to watch me put together a puzzle. So I have all the puzzles in here. So again, you can put it in your pizza box. Now, and I know some of you are like, my 3-year-olds, they can't match all of like the whole alphabet. So, because that's too much for them, right? So maybe just have 6. And then once they would match those 6, there would be none left, right? And again, you can have the, like you could just have these in there, right? And then they would match them. And they could match the letters up. And there are different pizzas, but it's more of kind of like a self-check to make sure. Or maybe they have 6 letters, so maybe they're doing great with that. So maybe you're gonna put in half of the alphabet. So maybe you're just gonna put in, 12 letters. And then once they have that, then they can put in, up to, 18. And then by the end of the year, you'll be able to put in all, the whole alphabet. Or maybe not. If you have 3, so you can just stick to just a couple. And again, you know your kiddos. You know what level that they would be able to do this in. And let's say you have your pizza box with your puzzle pieces. And you can also have them do this in a pocket chart. So that way all of maybe the uppercase is already in there and they just have to match the lowercase. So that is another option for you as well. Again, this little pizza box just makes everything more fun. And then we also have, this is a beginning sound game. So again, you could put all of these out. Put the pan letters out. And then in here, you would put all the little pizzas, right? So they would be banana. And again, if you have put out the letters that would be appropriate for your kiddo. So maybe you're gonna put out 6 letters. Maybe you're gonna put out 8 letters. Maybe you're gonna put out 10. Maybe you're gonna put out 18. Maybe you're gonna put all of them out. Maybe you're like, my students are 3 and they're not ready for sounds. That's okay. Take the letter pizzas from the read and build game and then they can match, obviously this doesn't match, but they can match just the letters. And then, or when maybe you want to do uppercase, maybe your students aren't ready for sounds, they can just do the lowercase too. Again, we are gonna meet our students, whatever level they're at. And maybe you're gonna do that for small groups and you're gonna have 3 different levels. This one is the last literacy activity I'm going to show you, but it's really fun. So we are making pizza syllables. How much fun is that? And then, again, you can take your little pizza box, get one for each center, because it's so fun. And then they're going to grab it. Avocado. I just clapped to myself. And then they would put that in 4. And then pineapple. 3. Fish. And I have it on here in case they aren't able to recognize the number. Or they can also use it as a guide to count. Tomato. 3. So they can count and check. And again, just with our little pizza box and our little tablecloth. So fun. You can also, if you want, if you're like, these look like, if you're super type A like me, like I would probably Velcro, so that way they would stick. So that way they wouldn't be flying all around. But again, you do you. Velcro them, don't Velcro them, whatever makes your heart happy. And also, maybe you're super busy. So maybe this game isn't gonna be Velcroed. Maybe you'll do it next year, and that's okay. Every year is different with different kids and your life is different with different things on your plate, both professionally and personally. So just do the best you can, because honestly, your students won't know any different, whether it's Velcroed or not. And then don't forget, in the fine motor journals, there are 5 pizza activities. I'm gonna show you one first. So fine motor journals is when we practice the lines that make up all the letters. So this one looks like a pizza, right? So what you would say is, okay, everybody, we're gonna make pizzas. Okay, grab your brown marker and we're gonna make circles. And fine motor journals, I have a whole blog post on it and videos. So if you wanna watch more on that, you can. But you would say, okay, I'm gonna do it and then you do it. Okay, we're gonna make just the brown circles. Ready? Around, 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 stop. Around, 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 stop. Around, 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 stop. And then say, okay, your turn. And then they would make all of just the brown pizza crusts and say, oh my gosh. And then they do it, right? And then you can help them if they want, if they need it. And you can also have I forgot to grab it, but have just the circles out. And then say, oh my gosh, our pizzas, they need sauce. So we're gonna make spirals for our sauce and say, okay, I'm gonna start on the outside and I'm gonna go in. Ready, go. Around, 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 stop. And say, okay, I'm gonna go on the inside. Now I'm gonna be really careful. I'm gonna make sure my lines don't touch. And obviously you can practice making mistakes if some of your kiddos struggle with kind of moving past mistakes, because we gotta practice all those social skills, sneak it in wherever we can. So you can go around, 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 stop. Be like, oh, my lines touched. Oh well, I'm gonna try again. And in a different pizza, no big deal. Everybody, it happens, right? Like, play it off like it's no big deal. Around, 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 stop. Okay, then you guys do it. You guys put your sauce on your pizza. Say, okay. So now they did that. And then say, oh my gosh, does this look like any letters in our alphabet? Say, oh my God, they might say, oh, it looks like an O or whatever letter. And say, oh my gosh, you know, I kind of think it looks like a G, because when you make a spiral, it goes around and in. A G is kind of like the beginning. Obviously, this would be blank. And say, okay, I'm going to make some G's first, and then you get to do it. So watch me first. So I'm going to go around, in. And when I go in with my line, I'm going to make it straight. It's not going to be circly. It's not going to be curvy like my pizza sauce. So around, in. Say, okay, you do it. And then they make their G's. Again, just a super simple way for them and engaging, right? This is more engaging than them just practicing the letter G on a worksheet, right? You'll get more buy-in. This will be more fun, and it's quick and fast, super simple, super fun. So yeah, and then, again, this has nothing to do with beginning sounds. This is literally just the types of lines that make up all of our letters. I didn't show you. And this is the fine motor journals. You could also do C's, because guess what? So peppers look like the letter C. And then you can also just work on hand-eye coordination. So you have them put the yellow stickers on, and then they can go around with the sauce and around with the crust. And, you know, try not to have the lines touch, which is tricky. It's very, very hard. And then you can do a directed drawing of a pizza, and you can just do a cutting collage of a pizza where they just draw a triangle, and then they can cut strips of paper for the pizza. And then this one's really fun. This is the last fine motor. Whoop, that fell out of the weather. Fine motor journal. So this is, they are gonna make a pizza delivery route. So you put out all the tape, just colored masking tape and scissors, and then they can cut the pieces to make a maze. Now, this would probably be a kindergarten or end of pre-K kiddo, right? But yours, for a 3-year-old, they can still make a maze. It'll just be simpler and it'll be longer pieces of tape. And I just had a pizza sticker, so kind of show where the start and end would be. So kids love tape. So anytime you can use tape for an activity, they will be engaged. So that is literacy and fine motor. I still have math, and I also have some art activities to show you. So let's do art first, and then we'll do math last. So there's so many different things you can do for pizzas for art, I feel like. This one is really fun. So they are just going to paint I just have a brown piece of paper because it's kind of like a pizza crust, right? We have this, if you are old school like me and you had the old school square pizzas in the cafeteria when you were little, it's just a happy memory, right? For all of us. But basically, they're just going to paint with a pizza cutter. It'll look something like this at the end, or not. Maybe it'll be more of a mess. Maybe it'll be less strokes, but you get the idea. So they're just going to just roll it back and forth. So they're gonna have to problem solve on how to get the paint on the roller. It'll probably go off the page. Obviously, you'd probably want to have a tray down, or you would have a mat. But they're just gonna explore the pizza cutter and back and forth, back and forth. And then also you can have, I just had this like a little tray from the dollar store, and they can just go to town. You can also, if you have a bunch of these, and like the different, like the squigglies or whatever, like this. Like if you have them and they're kind of all the different types of lines, you could put those in there too. And so you could have each one in one. It's so fun. So they can just practice printing. So again, super, super fun, super easy. But look, see what happens when I'm rolling all the different ways. I'm moving my shoulder, I'm moving my wrist. I'm moving my wrist. I'm having to problem solve. Like, is there paint on here? How do I get more paint on there? Oh, it's not working. Problem solve all of that. And they're just exploring a way, printing for art. So super fun, super easy. And then also don't forget, if you're gonna do this, like usually I have one new or open-ended art activity in art every week. It's not a have to, it's just an option if they want it. What I would do is at the end of the day, I would literally take these and I would wash these. And then I would take this paint tray and I would cover it in saran wrap. And then the next day, uncover it and then put these, which will be clean, back in it. And that way I'm not wasting paint and having to wash this every day. And yes, by Friday it does get a little crusty, but just squirt more paint on the top and it's fine. Because again, work smarter, not harder, right? Because the kids don't care if there's like paint and gunk on the inside. They don't care. So do some pizza cutter painting. Obviously make sure use the kid ones. Don't use like real pizza cutters because that would not be safe. And then you can also do different kinds of pizza collages, right? Like you could have them cut out a brown circle. They could paint the sauce and then put on all the different toppings. They could just paint the pizza. So I had have like a circle stencil out. How I make my stencils is, I thought I grabbed it, but I didn't. I make my stencils out of cardboard and I write like circle on it. And then they trace it and then they can go around it and then they can paint their pizza. Trace it, and then they can also color it. So they could do it however they want it, right? So many different ways to make pizza. You could also do triangles, so they could do pizza slices, make pizza slice art. Super fun. Remember I had these? Remember I made these one year? So fun. So I also made these. So I laminated a bunch of paper and I cut out all of these. Now, I will say these were a circle punch, and then I just put dots on them, and then I just cut kind of like, here, let me see, put it right here. And then for my olives, circle punch with a hole punch, pepperoni, cut little peppers. And again, you have it once, and I was very excited because I made this whole container full. Did I need to make this whole container full? Probably not. But I was very excited apparently about this game that I made for my kiddos. And again, it lasts forever because I still have it. So this is just a super simple roll and count game. So they can roll the dice. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Put on their pizza. Now I always have my kiddos count and put it in their hands because that way if they keep going and don't stop at the number they counted on or they rolled, they can recount without having to like be frustrated that all the pieces are in here. I usually don't say, you know, it's okay. You know, if they put their pieces on there, I say, no big deal. Just roll again and we'll start over. No big deal. 2, 1, 2, 2. And then basically they just roll and fill their pizza up with toppings, and it's really fun. Now, again, if your kiddos, if counting to 6 is too hard for them, I made my own dice and it has 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 on it. So this is perfect for preschoolers, like 3-year-olds. I usually use these with, once they have enough one-on-one correspondence, I move them onto this one. And then once they are great with one-on-one correspondence 6, then they can use 2 of these foam dice or 2 of these 3-dot dice. Again, same game, different levels. Oh, and then I also made little recipes. This is like old school, like before TPT. So I wrote this out and then I colored that. So super fun. So you can make it if you want. There's also in the Counting Stews bundle, there is a pizza stew. So if you want to do that, you can do that too. All right, I have a few more counting games for you. We're ready to go. Also, too, if you just wanted to have these, you could also just do a roll and fill with pom-poms. That works too. So this is a pizza. Where's my box? Again, gotta make it engaging and fun. So we have a pizza, we have our box, and then this is a pizza shape game. So, and you can play this a couple different ways. You can put it in a dry erase pocket, put all the shape cards in the pizza box. So they can pick a shape, and they can either cover it or they can trace it. Whichever one you want to do. You can also have it match colors if you want, or not, whatever you want. Or you can have it like, or they can cover up with just a mini eraser, or they can trace it, or they can cover and not trace it, whatever you want to do. Again, what do you want to work on? Do you want to just work on matching shapes? Do you want to give them a little bit of fine motor practice? What do you want to do? So, pizza shape game. And then again, this is in the Pizza Math and Literacy Centers. There's that one. And then this one is a super basic game. So you can do this a couple different ways. So you can put this out. I do this one a lot. Sometimes you can also tape it to the table if you want to keep this out as a center activity. Clearly that's not in order. But like if you want this like on a shelf or a table, just tape it down with a little bit of Scotch tape. And all they're going to do, or they could also use these if you have some of these made, but if you don't, you can just use pom-poms, and all they're going to do is put on that many toppings. So 2, this one would get 3, and it goes up to 20. So again, use the numbers that are appropriate for your kiddos in your classroom. So maybe you're just gonna do, if you have 3s, maybe you're just gonna do numbers 1 to 6, or 1 to 5. Maybe you're gonna do 1 to 10. Maybe you're gonna do 1 to 15. Maybe you're gonna do 1 to 20. Again, use whatever works for you. You can, again, use pom-poms. You can use, if you have some made, like shapes, pizza toppings like I do, you can use that. Or you can also put out some Play-Doh and they can like make that many, probably not yellow, get out some red Play-Doh and they can put that many Play-Doh pepperonis on it too. And again, what do your students like? Do they love mini erasers? Do they love Play-Doh? And again, it may change year to year, right? Because some classes love one thing, sometimes they love something different, or maybe they loved Play-Doh a bunch in the beginning of the year and they're kind of like sick of it now, so they're gonna want something else. So this one is a build a 10 frame, and again, we're gonna put our cards in our pizza box. So we have 2 levels. So they have a 10 frame or, we do have 2 levels, I promise, hold on. So this one is a single 10 frame and this one is a double 10 frame. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna pick out a pizza, that one. So we have 2 options. So this one has, they have to count the pepperonis, or this one has numbers and it goes up to 20. So like maybe they're gonna pick 19, and again, you can use whatever you have. So maybe you're gonna use pom-poms. Maybe you're gonna use, if you have like mini erasers, I got these from Target or something. Okay, I won't count out 19, but you know what I mean, right? But whatever, again, whatever your students like to use, maybe you wanna use cubes because they love cubes. Maybe you wanna use chains because they love chains. Those like math learning chains, like linking chains, you could use that. And they would just put that many out. And again, keep your spatula with your cards in your pizza box. Again, super simple way to make it just a little bit more engaging and fun. All right. And then this one is similar to, pause this pizza box for a minute. This one is similar to this, but if you were like, I don't want to make these, no worries, I got you. This is just make a pizza board, and they are going to roll the dice and put that many out. So 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoop. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And they would just keep rolling the dice until they filled it up. And again, they can use a 1, 2, 3 dice. They could use a 6 dice, or they could use 2 dice, again, depending on the level. Or if your students love dot markers, this also comes in a black and white option, so they can dot instead of, use the dot markers instead of using the pom-poms, because some kiddos just love dot markers. Again, different kids, different years. Maybe they love dot markers at the beginning of the year, they're sick of them, or maybe they love dot markers now and they didn't before, whatever it is. Again, different levels of play, so you can use a 3 dice, a 6 dice, or you could use 2 dice. Up to you, depending on your students. So pick the level that is appropriate for them. And my kiddos always, or my students always loved these dot ones because they get to take them home and show their grown-up what they did at school, because we don't do a lot of worksheets. So if they got something to take home, like that was like a paper, they were super, super excited, because worksheets are just not super fun for little learners, and we need hands-on, right? I mean, if you have to do worksheets, I get it. But obviously we want to do it. We want to make it hands-on as possible. So, okay. So there are girl and boy little pizza people, by the way. So this has, again, 2 levels of play. So this one is really fun. So we're kind of making dinner here, right? So we have this one turned out so cute. So we have, they're gonna pick up their order, like, so this little delivery order. So we have 7 and we're gonna build 10. So we have 7 pizzas and 3 salads. So I just made these little pizzas out of felt. So we have 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then for the lettuce, it's literally a ball of tissue paper. 1, 2, 3. So we have 7 and 3 make 10. And then again, if you are kinder, you can have them write the equation in the boxes and just by laminating it, and then you can use a dry erase. So you can have them write the equation or not, totally up to you. But again, super, super fun and easy game to make it hands-on and just really, really fun. I mean, pizza and salad, who wouldn't? Who wouldn't love that? So much fun. Okay. I forgot one more activity. I have a butcher paper activity for you guys. Okay, so butcher paper activity, if you don't know, it is a giant activity. I do a lot of butcher paper activities as like a morning arrival or a center time activity because it gets kiddos up out of their chairs and moving. Like usually we push in all the chairs, or you can put it on the floor, or you can stack them up and get them out of the way because we want to be up and moving and learning. So I drew this very, very fancy pizza. And I drew it with, the outline is in a marker and I colored in with some crayons. And if you look, it's not like amazing, but it's good enough for the activity. And what we're gonna do, you can do this a couple different ways. Because again, we wanna differentiate so all of our students are learning and no one is frustrated, right? We wanna get that sweet spot, that level that they're at. So you can put out, these are just letter beads. I don't use them as beads. We use them almost all the time as a letter manipulative. And then you could also, again, use, I don't know where I put them, magnet letters. Where would they go? You could also just put out magnet letters, whatever magnet letters you have. But all they're going to do is they are going to just match the letters. S and D and X. Okay, so you can put out the uppercase. These letter beads also come in a lowercase, so you can also put out the lowercase. So we have an uppercase and a lowercase, and they're having fun and they're learning, and just imagine them up and walking around. I usually put these in the corners so they have to grab it and then they can reach. And remember, they're little, so they have to reach all the way across. And when they're reaching, they're working on these big muscles, and they're getting those super strong. We have to have strong big muscles in order to have strong little muscles. And as they're reaching and stretching, they're also working on their core, and they have to have a strong core to have strong big muscles, and then we can have strong little muscles, right? Starts from the middle, and our muscles grow out. Now, if this is too easy for your kids, and you're like, my kiddos know uppercase and they know lowercase, grab some sound magnets. These are from Amazon, and they can match the sound. Of course, you can't see that one because it's over on the other side. Let's see. Apple. So they can match. And again, you can have all three of these things out if it's a morning table time activity or morning arrival activity. And students are going to naturally pick the one that they can do. They're not going to pick one that's hard and frustrating, right? They're going to go, nope, I don't want to do that. Oh, I know my lowercase, I'll do this one. Or, oh, I don't like lowercase, or I don't know those yet. So I'm really good at uppercase. Now they're not going to verbally tell you all of this. They're just going to go straight for the one that works for them, right? Now, if you don't want to do letters, you can also make a pizza with numbers. So you could put a number in each topping, and they have to put like that many pom-poms on there. Or you can just make pizza toppings, and they have to just match the color. So pretend like these would have no letters on them. So basically what they're gonna do is just fill up and match the colors. Maybe you would probably make the cheese kind of like a rectangle, kind of like those, right? But they are just gonna match the colors. So many different ways that you could use a butcher paper activity in your classroom with your kiddos. And again, if you wanted to make it even more engaging, you could put the toppings in here, and that way they have to pick them out. You could also dump letters in here, right? And they obviously would be over in the corner. and they could match the letters. And again, just a super simple pizza box, but it makes everything so much more fun and so much more engaging because maybe they're tired, or maybe they didn't get that much sleep, or maybe you're tired, or maybe you didn't get that much sleep. So we want kiddos engaged, learning, and having fun. When it's hands-on, that's the time that skill is more likely to stick because it takes less repetitions to learn a skill or a new like a new fact or something like that, like content, if it's through play than it would if it's like a worksheet or like a lecture, which obviously we're not doing lecture in preschool, but that's for the bigger kids. So make it hands-on and make it fun. So I hope you guys, I'm just gonna look around one more time to make sure I got it all. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure I showed you everything. So I hope you guys loved all of this really fun pizza themed activities. I literally would do a pizza theme for probably about 2 weeks and it was so much fun. And my kids loved it. I loved it. And it was just, I mean, I wanted pizza. Like I for sure craved pizza. You can also make pizzas as a snack, like with the little English muffins, or you can get the little tortillas and they can make those. They can make their own little mini pizzas for snack. You could do that. If you're not allowed to make pizza, that's okay. You can order Domino's and the delivery person you can wait for them in the front office. I know they'll be super excited. But you can like see the delivery guy come to you and you can grab their pizza and say thank you. And then they can be off and you can have pizza. So make it as fun or as simple as you want. Because again, it's your classroom and you do what works for you because again, your students have no idea all these amazing ideas you have in your head that you may not be able to do because of whatever reason. Maybe you're stressed, maybe you're busy, maybe it's, you have other things you have to do. Maybe you have assessments coming up, maybe there's conferences coming up, maybe you're just like, I'm done. Like we're just gonna do fun and engaging. We're gonna just do that and we're gonna not do extras for right now, and that's okay. Because again, your students are gonna love whatever you do with them as long as it's fun and engaging. You don't have to be over the top all the time. If you want to be over the top, good for you. I hope you guys have an awesome evening or day or night, depending on when you're watching. And again, all the links, all the things are up there or down there, wherever you're watching. They're different places. So yeah, have a great day, night, and I will talk to you guys soon.